while they were suing you.
Nor could we ask them their name. I don't even know if they were really from Hazleton. We weren't allowed to ask. They then went back and asked the judge if they could be excused from showing up at the trial because they were in the country illegally and they didn't want to go to a federal courthouse out of fear of being deported, and the judge granted them that wish.
I'm amazed that they had standing to even sue. That's the craziness of it.
So these illegal aliens were given more rights than you or me, who could not sue our municipality, our city, and remain anonymous. I never saw our accuser. I thought that was a right that every American had. I never saw our accuser to this day. And the court ruled in favor of the illegal aliens. So, you know, here we are, and I can tell you there's a lot of talk here in Washington, but not a lot of will or backbone to actually do something about it.
Well, let's forget about the talk in Washington for a second. Let's talk about the talk around the nation, because maybe it's just me, but let me get your opinion on this. Can we agree that the issues of illegal immigration has been put on the forefront of the campaign for the first time in a very long time?
Oh, there's no question. If it wasn't for Donald Trump, we wouldn't be talking about it. You know, he had the courage to come out and say what people have been thinking, and I related to that because, for a very long time I stood out there by myself, and I couldn't get a politician to come near me. And come to think of it, it was pretty refreshing. I wish I can do that again now, but.
Be a Republican in New York City. They'll do that all the time for you. Don't worry.
But, if it wasn't for Trump, this issue, we would not be talking about it. The other politicians would have skirted around the issue a little bit, throw out a couple of talking points, but there's no real backbone. This is why the American people are as angry as they are, because they don't believe that anybody here in Washington has the courage to do anything about illegal immigration.
Well, listen, I'm glad that we got the chance to speak. You got to make the rounds to all the tables here. Congressman Lou Barletta, tell people, listen, one thing we know from this game is that money and people is what makes the world go round in politics. We want to make sure that you get as much support as you can in all your endeavors in Pennsylvania and here in Washington. Tell people how they can get in touch with you, your staff, or any social media stuff that you want to do and all that fun stuff.
They could follow me and go to my website at loubarletta.com. Lets you know everything that I'm doing, and I'm going to continue the fight, and people can help.
Before I let you go, though, I know we did the plugs right now, and we're going to do it again because I like this guy a lot, folks. Just want to let you know right now. I got to get your opinion on Bill de Blasio, because you mentioned in the story about Hazleton how it was a New York criminal that came into your community and committed that horrendous act. What do you think about this progressive agenda by this now embattled mayor of New York City?
Well, I don't agree with any mayor that creates a safe haven for people who have knowingly broken our laws to come and be protected by that governor. I had a history with some of the New York mayors. I had to testify at one time when I was mayor with Mayor Bloomberg. Actually, it was Mayor Bloomberg, myself, and Police Commissioner Johnson from Philadelphia. We testified at a Senate Judiciary Committee with Senator Ted Kennedy. And, at the time, Mayor Bloomberg said that New York City's economy would crash if it didn't have illegal immigrants. Who would wash our dishes, he said, who would bus our tables, who would clean our hotel rooms. And, my Italian went from 0 to 100. I said, I'll tell you who will wash those dishes. The single mom that not only has to clean hotel rooms, but wash dishes, and I'll tell you who will bust those tables, the high school dropout that has nowhere else to go. What happens to those people? We don't need to bring people in America to take jobs away from those that depend on it to feed their families.
And believe me, when you hear an Italian American say that they go from 0 to 100 that quickly, wow, it's time to get out of the room, look out for wooden spoons, and just generally stay out of people's ways, man. I grew up in a household just like that. The wooden spoon in the back of the head every time. So let's talk one last time about Washington. Even though I hate talking about Washington, I come from New York, and this is kind of a welcome change, but Washington to me still feels like a swamp, and I got to feel dirty kind of when I leave it. Is there any push by the leadership in the House to get any kind of vote onto the floor regarding illegal immigration? You said that there's no political will. Does it start at the top of the House leadership? Am I going to be able to get you to talk badly about House leadership?
I think it's throughout. I think it's throughout. I have a bill that would go after visa overstays, and it's very hard to get any of these bills to the floor. I think we need somebody in the White House that will drive the issue. because this is a topic that most politicians here in Washington, they don't want to do anything about because they're afraid that they won't get reelected again.
And yet they had a perfect opportunity with a refugee relocation program to actually take a stand and actually possibly get a victory. Why didn't that happen?
It's unbelievable. I mean, here we are. I had four. I'm on Homeland Security Committee. We had 4 national security experts testify that we cannot properly check the backgrounds of anyone coming from Syria, and at the same time we are continuing to allow people to come into America to put our families and our friends and our neighbors at risk. Let's just start doing the right thing. And when Donald Trump, and I like to say this because I think this really gets at the heart of what people here in America are saying. Let's put America first for a change. We are the greatest country on this planet, but at the same time we need to protect Americans first.
Well, listen, I'm glad that you're in Congress protecting Americans first on this issue and many other issues. Good luck to you in your election futures. I'm sure that you're getting ready to go back to the 11th and start communicating this message to them. It's probably a message that you were voted in on in the first place,
That's
right?
how I got here. I came from a district that is 2-1 Democrat. And it just shows you how deep, people feel, how strongly they feel about issues that affect their families and their jobs. And if more politicians did that, they wouldn't have to worry about re-election. If I don't get elected again because I stood up for what I believe in, I'll be happy to go back to Hazleton and find another job. But I worry about my children, grandchildren, and what America will look like.
And that's what you call an elected official working behind enemy lines. Congressman Barletta, thank you so much for coming down, and we'll see you down the road.
Thank you. Good to talk to you.
As we close out the year, there are so many people to thank for putting this show together. First and foremost, our friends at Media Research Center, and specifically Dan Gaynor, who has come on every month to discuss media bias and in the liberal media and lamestream media. He's been such a good friend of the show. I want to thank him so much for coming on month after month and dealing with me, really. He's done phenomenal with that. And honestly, folks, of course, my co-host Russ Gallo, who is not only my best friend, but the best guy you could ever work with. Russ provides so much fire and energy to the show, and so do all of our friends, Amanda Kohut and Matt Fairley and Yak Attack, Yakov Bar, Diana Sepulveda. I'm going to mess up on not naming someone. It's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. But I'm so appreciative of what they all do. I mean, the rundown of guests that we had just in the past year: John Bolton, Van Hipp, Congressman Marsha Blackburn, Congressman Lou Barletta, Congressman Jody Heiss, James O'Keefe, Niger Innes, Congressman Dave Brack, Congressman Steve King, Jason Beardsley, who spoke at the RNC, a good friend of ours on veterans issues, Scotty Hughes, Governor Matt Bivin, Neil Monroe, journalist extraordinaire from Breitbart. So many names that we have to say thank you to, and so many that I'm going to miss out on. So I'm just going to say generally to everyone who's been a part of Behind Enemy Lines in 2016, thank you so much, God bless, and we do it all again in 2017. But until then, folks, from the People's Republic of New York, we are out of here. Good night, folks. Our position's been compromised. It's time to roll out. Report for debriefing at www.behindenemylinesradio.us and look for regular communications via Facebook and Twitter at BEL_radio. You are the resistance. Behind Enemy Lines. A Rock Radio production. Copyright 2016. Back in 7 days. Out.